Some people wait all year for summer. You are not one of them. When the air gets colder, the days get quieter, and everyone else starts complaining, something in you starts to settle. You feel calmer, softer, and more like yourself. And it is not just because winter looks beautiful. It is because, for some people, winter does something deeper. It lowers the volume of the world. And for a certain kind of mind, that feels like relief. Think about how different the seasons feel. In summer, everything pushes outward. The days are longer, the light is brighter, and people are outside. Plans multiply and messages pick up. There is this strange pressure to be visible, active, social, and alive. Summer can feel less like a season and more like an expectation. You should go out. You should make memories. You should not waste the day. And if you are someone who naturally needs more quiet, more recovery, and more space to think, that pressure gets exhausting fast. Winter feels different. Winter pulls inward. The air gets colder, the streets empty earlier, and the evenings close in. The world gets softer, dimmer, and quieter. And suddenly, staying home does not feel like missing out. It feels right. That is one of the biggest reasons some people prefer winter. Not because they hate life. Because winter removes the feeling that life is happening somewhere else, and you are failing to keep up. In summer, staying inside can feel like avoidance. In winter, staying inside can feel like wisdom, and your nervous system notices that difference. When it is cold outside and warm inside, your body experiences a very clear contrast. Outside feels exposed. Inside feels protected. Outside feels demanding. Inside feels safe. Environmental psychologists call this refuge appeal. Your brain is biologically wired to release dopamine when you find shelter from a harsh environment. That contrast can be deeply satisfying. You are not just in a room, you are in a sanctuary. And for certain people, that feeling goes deeper than comfort. It feels like their whole system finally unclenches. Because some minds do not thrive in constant stimulation. Some minds absorb too much of it. Noise, heat, brightness, movement, plans, social energy, and background pressure. What looks normal to other people can feel like a lot to someone whose brain is already taking in more than average. That is why some people feel more like themselves in winter. Not because winter changes who they are, because winter lowers the volume. The light is softer. The world is quieter. There are fewer demands to be out, busy, social, and available. And when the outside world gets quieter, some people can finally hear themselves again. That is why winter often feels so good to introverted people, deep thinkers, and people who get overstimulated easily. It is not just that they like cozy things. It is that winter naturally creates the kind of environment their nervous system has been asking for all year. Less intensity, less noise, less performance, more stillness, more reflection, more room to breathe. And there is another reason winter can feel so emotionally right. It gives your day edges. In summer, evenings can feel endless. The sun is still out late. People are still doing things. It feels like you should still be doing things too. That can make rest feel guilty, like you are quitting early while everyone else is still living. But winter changes that. It creates what researchers call temporal compression. When it gets dark early, the day feels definitively finished. There is less argument with yourself. Less pressure to squeeze more out of every hour. The season itself tells you, enough for today. And for people who struggle to stop, who feel guilty resting, and who always think they should be doing one more thing, that can feel incredibly regulating. Winter does not just let you rest. It makes rest feel legitimate. That matters more than people realize. Because a lot of people are not tired only because of work. They are tired because they never feel allowed to stop. Winter can feel healing for those people. Not because it fixes everything, but because it gives them a season that finally matches what their body has been trying to say. Slow down, stay close, do less, recover. And this is why liking winter is often about more than weather. It is not always about snow. It is not always about aesthetics. Sometimes it reveals something deeper about how you move through life. If you love winter, you may be someone who values depth over stimulation, someone who prefers atmosphere over intensity, someone who does not need constant excitement to feel alive, someone who feels restored by quiet, boundaries, warmth, and private space. You may be the kind of person who does your best thinking when the world is softer, who feels more emotionally balanced when life becomes simpler, who does not need everything to be bright, loud, fast, and social to call it meaningful. And in a world that keeps glorifying more output, more visibility, more noise, and more speed, that is not weakness. That is self-knowledge. Because some people keep trying to live like summer all year long, always on, always available, always chasing something. And some people know, deep down, that they are built for a different rhythm, a quieter rhythm, a slower one that makes room for reflection, for solitude, for recovery, and for inner life. That is why winter people often feel misunderstood. From the outside, their love of winter can look like withdrawal, but from the inside, it often feels like alignment. Like the season outside finally matches the pace they were meant to live at. So if you are someone who genuinely prefers winter, do not rush to assume it is just a random taste. It may be telling you something real. That your nervous system likes softer worlds. That your mind works better when there is less demand. That peace matters to you more than stimulation. That rest is not laziness for you. It is how you return to yourself. And maybe that is why winter feels so good. Not because life disappears in winter, but because all the noise finally does. If this felt a little too personal, leave a comment below. Do you actually love winter, or do you love the peace that comes with it?